Previously on Divorce Matters Today.
How mad women got over abortion. When I like it was like that was the most visceral when I would debate women where they would just get so angry. And I'm like, why are you so angry over just a difference in opinion? I mean, I used to fight really hard because my parents like adopted kids. And so pro-life was just something I kind of grew up with. But then I just realized that the infant mortality rate is very similar to the abortion rate today.
Wow.
So that leads, I don't have proof or evidence of this, but just anecdotally arguing with women and seeing how much they just fight to what I would view as abort their children, kill their children. I think it's always been like this.
Davis. She's a pretty good content creator. She's talking about STDs. Let's get it.
Women got over abortion. When I like it was like that was the most visceral when I would debate women where they would just get so angry. I'm like, why are you so angry over just a difference in opinion? I mean, I used to fight really hard because my parents like adopted kids. And so pro-life was just something I kind of grew up with. But then I just realized that the infant mortality rate is very similar to the abortion rate today.
Wow.
So that leads, I don't have proof or evidence of this, but just anecdotally arguing with women and seeing how much they just fight to what I would view as abort their children, kill their children. I think it's always been like this. I think it's like now that social media is here, we have like, we can see what women actually are.
It's
Do you disagree or agree?
Well, I think that, yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I also think that as far as women wanting to be able to, it just comes down to the fact that women want to be able to have the choice to do that. I mean, obviously, I think that, like, I used to always kind of wonder about this. It's like, okay, well, the women who are having abortions, do we really want those women reproducing anyway and stuff? Because they're probably just going to raise more, you know, male feminist children and stuff, I guess. So,
I mean, I just think it's useless to fight over it. Like they'll die. Like I think the pro-life movement, like, yeah, they got Roe versus Wade, but if you think a plan B is an abortion, which they do, I mean, those are like through the roof.
yeah.
So I just don't see it going anywhere in my lifetime. But it would be interesting to like, I think men, like we've talked about this, but our men should be able to opt out of child support if women can opt out of motherhood.
Of course. Yeah.
Like, and that's what I mean. The
financial abortion.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. I think the solution to feminism is more feminism. Like we asked to be free. Here you go. I couldn't believe how mad women got over abortion. When I like,
Play it again so it's sinks in.
it was like that was the most visceral when I would debate women where they would just get so angry. And I'm like, why are you so angry over just a difference in opinion? I mean, I used to fight really hard because my parents like adopted kids. And so pro-life was just something I kind of grew up with. But then I just realized that the infant mortality rate is very similar to the abortion rate today.
Wow.
So that leads, I don't have proof or evidence of this, but just anecdotally arguing with women and seeing how much they just fight to what I would view as abort their children, kill their children. I think it's always been like this. I think it's like now that social media is here, we have like, we can see what women actually are.
It's
Do you disagree or agree?
Well, I think that, yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I also think that as far as women wanting to be able to, it just comes down to the fact that women want to be able to have the choice to do that. I mean, obviously, I think that, like, I used to always kind of wonder about this. It's like, okay, well, the women who are having abortions, do we really want those women reproducing anyway and stuff? Because they're probably just going to raise more, you know, male feminist children and stuff, I guess. So,
I mean, I just think it's useless to fight over it. Like they'll die. Like I think the pro-life movement, like, yeah, they got Roe versus Wade, but if you think a plan B is an abortion, which they do, I mean, those are like through the roof.
yeah.
So I just don't see it going anywhere in my lifetime. But it would be interesting to like, I think men, like we've talked about this, but our men should be able to opt out of child support if women can opt out of motherhood.
Of course. Yeah.
Like, and that's what I mean. The
financial abortion.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. I think the solution to feminism is more feminism. Like we asked to be free. Here you go.
The solution to feminism is feminism. I agree. I agree with that statement. You women want all the responsibility. Cool. So here's all the responsibility. You want to be females? Cool. There you go. Here comes all the. You want to be equal to men? Problem. There you go. Well, the problem with women is this, especially modern women. They want all the perks, but not the responsibilities that come with it in every aspect of life. Give you an example. When it comes to opportunities as far as in the workplace, women want to sit in the air conditioned offices, but they don't want to build the buildings. When it comes to the federal post office, they want to work as a post office lady or whatever they call them. But they don't want to build the tracks that the trains run on to get the mail from one city to another. When it comes to abortions, they want the right to choose whether or not they're going to have the kid or not. So let me get this. But if they choose to have the baby and the man doesn't want it, they get to keep it, and the man is on the hook for life. But if they don't want it, but the man wants it, they can basically kill the baby. They want men to provide and protect them, but they will not join the military. And what I mean by the military, I'm talking about the fighting lines. Not no support. I was in the military. Not no support. I'm talking about the actual fighting lines. This video that I'm showing you from Pearl about abortion, it's really dear to my heart, especially, I have kids. So the question I have is, how did we get here? Like, how did we get to this? How did we get to the point where a woman can terminate a baby even up to, say, 7 months, and she faces no repercussions whatsoever? How did we get here? How evil is this world where a woman and men can kill babies in the womb and not feel a goddamn thing about it? This is where we are as a society. Do you guys realize how many babies are killed and terminated in the Black community each year? Let me find out. How many babies are aborted each year? Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, Do you realize that 73 million babies are aborted globally every year? How many abortions occur every year in the Black community? Globally, right? Out of all the women, Asian, white, Hispanic, Indian, you name it, the highest abortion rate is by what? Black women at a rate of 37%. So 73 million, 37%. So 40%, 7, 28. So we're talking about 30 million babies are killed every year in the Black community. Every single year. Let that sink in. It's funny, right? I had a discussion. I was in a barber shop when I was in the United States. I was getting ready to get my hair cut. And there was this other lady, looked like a normal black lady. And she and I in the barber shop, we just got to talking, right? About politics, Trump, Biden, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we disagreed. But the disagreement hit a feverish pitch. I kid you not. The disagreement hit a feverish pitch when we started talking about abortion. Ladies and gents, when I tell you that this lady's anger level tripled, she was already an angry black woman. But her anger, obviously she was overweight. I mean, just say it is what it is. I'm not bullshitting. This is what true talk. When we started talking about abortion, her anger level tripled, even to the point where she started disrespecting all the men in the barbershop. To the point where some of the barbers were like, listen, if you don't pipe down, we will beat your ass. Like, it takes a lot for a man to get to that point where, like, listen, lady, hey, you need to pipe down because we can beat your ass. This is literally what happened. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. Because she started getting really disrespectful when this thing about abortion came. And her argument was, I've had an abortion before and I will have an abortion again. Doesn't mean nothing to me. There was nothing, you couldn't make any sense of it. There was no reasoning with this woman. She was gonna have this abortion. It didn't fucking matter what we said. We try to use God. We try to use ethics. We try to use emotion. Nothing worked. She was not trying to hear it at all. I have a question for you guys. If there is a God up there, and I 100% believe that there is a God up there, one thing I will give him is this: he is patient. My God, he is patient. He is patient. And another thing that I can tell is heaven has got to be a big place because we're killing 73 million babies a year. Heaven's got to be a big place, though. But here's a question I have for you guys. Two questions. Are we so evil that we can't even identify evil anymore? That we just kind of, it is what it is. Have we gotten to that stage where, you know what, I truly believe that we're in our last days simply because even killing a child has now been normalized. Of course, by the Democrats. Of course. Of course. Killing a child has now been normalized. Are we this evil? My second question is this. As patient as God is, how angry do you think he is? And number two, what exactly do you think he's going to do when his anger reaches a boiling point? I think what you guys need to see, I think what you guys need to see is a video of a doctor explaining the abortion procedure. Take a look.
I only have 5 minutes, so I'm going to get right to it. Second trimester D&E abortions performed between roughly 14 and 24 weeks of gestation. Your patient today is 17.
14 to 24 weeks, that's 4 divided by, that's 6.5 months, right? Got it.
17 years old. She's 22 weeks pregnant. Her baby is the length of your hand plus a couple of inches. And she's been feeling her baby kick for the last several weeks, but she's asleep on an operating room table. You walk into that operating room scrubbed and gowned, and after removing laminaria, you introduce a suction catheter into the uterus. This is a 14 French suction catheter. If she were 12 weeks pregnant or less, basically the width of your hand or smaller, you could basically do the entire procedure with this. But babies this big don't fit through catheters this size. After suctioning the amniotic fluid out from around the baby, you introduce an instrument called a Sofer clamp. It's about 13 inches long. It's made of stainless steel. The business end of this clamp is about 2.5 inches long and 1/2 inch wide. There are rows of sharp teeth. This is a grasping instrument. When it gets a hold of something, it does not let go. A D&E procedure is a blind abortion, so picture yourself introducing this and grabbing anything you can blindly and pull, and I do mean hard, and out pops a leg about that big, which you put down on the table next to you. Reach in again, pull out an arm about the same length, which you put down on the table next to you. and use this instrument again and again to tear out the spine, the intestines, the heart, and lungs.
Jesus. Jesus.
Head in the baby that size is about the size of a large plum. Can't see it, but you pretty good idea you've got it if you've got your instrument around something and your fingers are spread about as far as they go. You know you did it right if you crush down on the instrument and white material runs out of the cervix. That was the baby's brains. Then you could pull out skull pieces. And you have a day like I had a lot of times, sometimes a little face comes back and stares back at you. Congratulations, you just successfully performed a second trimester D&E abortion. You just affirmed her right to choose.
Why did you end your practice of doing abortions?
I did over 1,200 abortions over a 4-year period in private practice, not counting the ones that I did during my training. I met my wife during my first year of training at Albany Medical Center. We got married about a year later and found that we had an infertility problem. After years of failed infertility treatment and several years trying to adopt a child, we were blessed with adopting a little girl that we named Heather in August of 1978. As sometimes happens in those situations, my wife got pregnant the very next month, and we had 2 children 10 months apart. 2 months short of my daughter Heather's 6th birthday, she was killed in an auto accident and literally died in her arms in the back of an ambulance. Anyone who has children might think they have some idea of what that feels like, but unless you've been through it yourself, you have no idea whatsoever. I know people find it hard to believe, but what do you do after disaster? You bury your child and then you go back to your life. And I don't remember exactly how long it was after my daughter died that I showed up at Albany Medical Center OR number 9 to perform my first second trimester D&E abortion. I wasn't thinking of it as anything special. This was routine to me. But I reached in, literally pulled out an arm or leg and got sick. You know, earlier on I described stacking up body parts on the side of the table. It's not to, gross people out, to use a simple term. When you do an abortion, you need to keep inventory. You have to make sure you get 2 arms and 2 legs and all the pieces. If you don't, your patient's going to come back infected, bleeding, or dead. So I soldiered on and finished that abortion. And I know it sounds, as I said, hard for people to believe, but I'm telling you straight up my experience. You know, after over 1,200 abortions, first and second trimester up to 24 weeks and all the rest of it, and being very dedicated to it, for the first time in my life, I really looked. I really looked at that pile of body parts on the side of the table. And I didn't see her wonderful right to choose, and I didn't see all the money I just made. All I could see was somebody's son or daughter. And I stopped doing late-term abortions after that, and several months later stopped doing all abortions.
I think something is terribly wrong with this world. We talk about relationships, divorce, we talk about, this woman cheating, STDs, divorce. It appears to me that something has gone really afoul and something is terribly wrong. What scares me the most is nothing is going to change. In fact, it's only going to get worse. You know, that artist, he says, we live, this is the evil world we live in. It is true. We are gone. Well, I'm gonna leave you guys with this. If there is a God, the amount of wrath he has stored up for people that commit such heinous acts, I don't want to be a part of any. See, let me, ladies and gents, let me tell you something, man. I've been in Puerto Rico by myself. No family, no nothing. Cool. It's fine. Big boy can take it. So I asked myself a lot. I said, you know, I wonder, like, I asked myself, I said, God, like, why am I always alone? What's this about? Like, what? Always alone. Like, what's this about? I think I know why. I think there's a part of my soul that wants nothing to do with this world. What I mean by that is I will live in this world, but I don't want to have anything to do with what people do today. The way y'all date, the way y'all eat, the way y'all have sex, the way y'all communicate, the actions that you guys take. It's even to the point where if you have sex, just a random sex with a random, I have started to feel like I am no different than a woman that just kills a baby in a womb. I'm no different. That's how serious this thing is for me. My friend told me one time, he said, you know, my friend, he just cheats on his wife all the time. And he said, and this is before I made a decision to become celibate and all that. He said, well, they used to get head from chicks and said from time to time. So what's the difference? I said, you know what? That's a good point. I will have nothing to do with what you're doing. That's a good point. That's a good point. Because here's the scary part. You may not commit abortions, you may not steal, you might not, but having sex random with randoms, you're gonna get the same wrath from God that I've been talking about. You don't have to believe nothing I say. You don't have to believe God. Nope, you don't have to. But one thing you cannot deny is this. This is an evil world, and we choose evil. For some reason, we choose evil. That you cannot deny. There's good, there's evil. There's good, there's evil. We as human beings, we choose evil in every area of our lives. To the ladies who are choosing abortion, and there's some ladies that just, abortion is like a normal thing for them. God. Are you under the assumption that you're not going to pay the price for this? told you guys before, I have seen things that will make you guys piss your pants. And I'm talking about things from another realm. I've seen them. There is no fucking question that when you breathe your last breath, we're going somewhere. There's one or two places. That much I'm fucking clear about. There's no question about that. I'm good there. I'm good. Nobody needs to convince me. You don't have to believe me. Cool. That's your problem. No, a lot of people they think they always say that I'm trying to convince people to become Christians. No, convince you, shit. Tough it out. No, that's on you, partner. If you win $1 billion, if you win $1 billion, I'm going to give two shits. Congrats. You die tomorrow. My thoughts and prayers go to you, your family. I don't know you. Fuck, I need to convince you for what? No, I'm not convincing anybody. This is on you, partner. My job is, and I hope I can convince a few people. I'm not trying to, but hopefully I can. If I can convince one person to turn this whole thing around, do my job. Someday I can tell God, you know what? You saved one, no problem. Good job, boy. Cool. I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. If I could save just one, because that one could multiply 1,000. That could be 100 generations from now. If I could save one, just one, that's it. I just want to save one. Yeah, listen, man. Listen. I, this is not a game, man. This literally is an evil word. Like, I have some more videos on. We're going to get deeper into this. Like today, we're going to get a little deeper. Like, but ladies and gents, you have got to realize that if you look at every area of your life, it's just evil everywhere. So you're telling me, oh, let me check this out. Hold on. Let's see, how many murders occurred on Earth? Okay. Uh, how many people died? How many people die each? How many people die each year? Give me 1 second, y'all. Gotta find this out for you guys. I want to see something. How many people die each year? Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that every year about 56 million people occur annually? So what that means is this. There are more abortions that happen inside a woman's womb than people that die, either naturally or from other causes. Let, let me repeat what I just said. In other words, women kill more humans than men. 73 million abortions every year, 56 million deaths a year. People die, 56. But as far as the abortions, it's 73 million. So in other words, so out of that 56 million, let's say a third of them are women. So let's say that's what, 17 million? So 17 plus 73, that's 90 million deaths every year can be attributed to women. $90 million every year can be attributed to women. These are just the numbers. These are just the numbers. I specifically said how many people died each year? 56 million deaths. How many abortions happen each year? 73 million. Globally. Globally. $90 million humans die because of women? Because when a woman decides to have an abortion, it's her choice, right? Her body, her choice. I want to hear that shit. Even if a man says he's nope, it's the woman. My body, my choice. That's what you say. So don't give me that shit. Don't be trying to change it now. Oh, he made me, no, he ain't making you shit. 73 million, that's on your ass. Clear cut. You can't have it both ways. He ain't making you do nothing. 73 million, that was your choice. 56 million deaths. I'm gonna give you a third. That's about what? Shit, that's about 19. So 73, that's 92 million deaths, about. So 92 million human beings die from women or because of women. Every single year. Please hit the like, especially on this video, guys. Hit the like, hit the share. Share this out with your friends and family. This truly is an evil world that we live in. Truly is an evil world that we live in. We talk about divorce matters because divorce matters today. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.